Welcome everyone. We are having our December Community of Practice. This is for communities and schools across the state who are piloting a career exploration and or a career development experience through a grant opportunity from the Illinois State Board of Education. I'm Heather Penzak. I'm part of an organization called Education System Center, and my role really with this grant, with this opportunity and how you all are piloting is convening these communities of practice and having different pilots come on and present about their plan, about what they're doing, and then also sharing different resources, gathering resources from you all, and creating a resource bank to refer to as you all grapple with and continue to design and implement your pilot and even think about subsequent years. The plan for today, we are going to do just a quick overview for you all, making sure that everyone's aware of the different resources that we have, a couple of announcements about opportunities. We're going to have 2 community presentations, but then we really are going to have some time here to be in your pilot focus areas, move into breakout rooms, and just start chatting with one another. We hosted a community conversation, about a month ago for folks at the elementary or middle school level who are piloting a career exploration experience, and really just spent the time as a small group, just sharing what folks are doing, the questions they have, started to share some resources. So definitely want to make sure we carve out time for that today so that you all have that opportunity to continue to connect with one another and grapple and learn with and from one another. But I'm just going to go quickly through this before I turn it over to our presenters, and again, make sure we have that time for breakouts. We are, again, looking at experiences in career exploration and career development experiences. This is all linked within the presentation, which I can put in here one more time, just in case. And so there's definitions there from the Illinois Career Pathways Dictionary that we're really holding true to as part of this pilot experience and engaging in our activities and designing with these definitions in mind. So career exploration, really having that direct engagement with employers or industry experts, and students are gaining that knowledge of one or more industry sectors or occupations. With a career development experience, these are your terms like internship, supervised agricultural experience, cooperative education, right? Thinking about that more intensive type experience where they're supervised, they're engaging in that for about 60 hours, they're doing a lot of skill development in there, right? Typically thought of as an internship, but it very much is a bucket term to encompass a lot of different experiences that a young person can have. But just flagging these here and including them as resources for you all to refer to and kind of keep us in that space. I do want to make sure that we're all aware. So initially, we're kind of sharing things as Google folders, but we've started to already develop a lot of content through these communities of practice, and communities are sharing their own resources. So actually created a website that's a pilot resource hub. So I'm going to actually click there. And are you all seeing the new screen now? Yes. So if you click on here, it's going to have everything from our communities of practice on there. And so, you know, at the beginning, it's got myself and Karen, who I know has some announcements here today too, will introduce themselves. Yeah, 60 hours really like total, right? So Carol, I see your question about for this, the career development experience, 60 hours per semester. That could be in a semester. There's some communities who might do like 2 micro internships. So you might do like 30 one semester, 30 another semester. But I'd be happy to even chat with you and kind of about your 60 hours and how you're thinking through that. But it's really a 60 hours total for that individual. And so the site here, again, goes into a little bit of background. It puts in those definitions again here for you, like I had on those slides. But Amy, I won't make I captured your face on the YouTube screenshot there, but you can see here on each dropdown, we have the different recordings, the presentations, everything that's occurred so far from our communities of practice. So you can watch the recording, you can access the presentation. This recording will be uploaded here. I'll also send it out afterwards. We have our statewide resources. You can click on them. It gives like a little explanation of each for those. But then we also have, these are the pieces that are starting to be really particular to this pilot, right? So for career exploration and career development experiences, we have, you can look at a list of different pilot plans, watch an overview that goes into a deeper dive, and then there's additional resources by that type of experience as well. So at our last community of practice, like Northern King County shared a lot of different kind of internship flow charts and applications, and so putting those there. And then also links you to the Illinois Work-Based Learning Innovation Network Resource Hub, which is a kind of a larger, broader statewide network outside of this pilot opportunity. And also if you wanted to join an additional listserv. So outside of receiving the regular communication for these bi-monthly communities of practice, you could sign up to be on a smaller group here who's really chatting just about their experience. But I want to make sure you all are aware of that site. It's linked in here in the presentation, and I'll continue to kind of refer back to it in the emails to you all. There's also going to be some outreach happening in the next few months. So, you know, here at EdSystems and myself like to practice what we preach. So we host high school interns every year for about 10 months. And so Annie has started with our team. And so they may be reaching out to you in the next few months. We have some different templates that we use to kind of capture everything in a consistent way. So they're going to look through the information that we have about your pilot, start to put it into a template, and then maybe send back to you to confirm or gather some additional information. So they'll introduce themselves as a high school intern with EdSystems. But, you know, so I think maybe have an additional set of like, you know, you might need to respond a couple more times. You might need to like myself, for example, right? But again, it's a professional development process. So they're really great. Annie's wonderful. So be on the lookout for their email here in the next few months. But if you are interested already in kind of getting connected with Annie, starting to put your information into a template so that we can put it out to share back with the larger community here, please just email me directly and I'll get you connected with them right away. I mentioned those pilot listservs. Again, at the bottom of that is the Pilot Resource Hub. You can join one or both of those, right? Again, it's an additional subscription, but I do want to make you aware. So we'll have kind of our breakout room time now, but these community conversations have seemed to be valuable and requested by folks. So in January, we'll have 2 more. So we'll have one for career exploration on January 18th, and that's going to be for the elementary, middle, and high school level. We can always kind of move into 2 breakout rooms there by middle, elementary, and then high school, or maybe it makes sense for us to all just continue to share those practices regardless of age level. And then we'll have one for career development experiences too. And so if you were at the last community conversation, it really is not a formal presentation at all. Like there are no presentations. Everyone just kind of comes into the room and we start where you all need to start and start sharing from there. But you can click on these links and get to those to register. I'll also send them in my follow-up email so you can get those directly outside of the presentation. All right, just wanted to make sure we were aware of those. Before I turn to Karen, any question about those resources or any kind of general pieces before Karen shares some announcements and we move into our community presentations? All right, hearing none. And if you think of them, please put them in the chat, email me, say it out loud. But I know Karen had a couple of announcements, or at least one about a report for you all.
Good morning, everyone. Excuse my frogginess here. Really, the only thing I've got going pertaining to this grant is I've developed the year-end report, and I'm going to get it to you early. Everything you create at ISBE has to go through a handful of people, so it's being modified and edited and everything. But I'm hoping to have it out within the next week. In fact, I just got an email this morning from the editor that he's gone through it. So just having it put into a format that's easier for you to use. You will have that no later than the end of next week. I know it's not going to be due until the end of the project. I just want you to have it in your hands so you can be thinking about making sure you're gathering the information that will go into that final report. There is no mid-year report. I mean, you'll still have like a GATA report mid-year, but nothing program side, you know, as far as like getting a lot of data together. So I'll be getting that out to you within the week. And of course, if you have any questions about amendments or, you know, allowable expenses, anything, you can send those all to me. Email address is there. You know, don't hesitate to come at me with questions.
Karen, any kind of general questions now before we move into those for Karen? All right. Well, my favorite part of all this is always the community presentations and the breakout rooms. I love to just go through stuff quickly and then be quiet myself. So I'm going to move, excuse me now, Karen, I'm getting a little frog in his too or something. It's the winter, it's, I'm going to move actually to our presenters from Elm Middle School, and they're going to talk to you about their pilot, and they're also going to give you kind of a sense of their pathways and how everything is connected. So again, I will drive the slides for you all. If I don't automatically do it, just ping me next.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I am Dr. Kim Monteveros from Elmwood Park. I'm the Director for Curriculum and Instruction. Today with me is Mrs. Ashley Groneveld, who is actually the principal of Elm Middle School. And our superintendent, Dr. Leo Gochi, should be joining us. Superintendents are extremely busy, so she got pulled away for a meeting. So I kind of wanted to talk about our initiative. So through our pathway exploration, we really wanted to ensure that when we aligned our programs of study, that we created authentic learning experiences for the students. Our goal is that when they graduate, they have a well-developed set of skills and have a solid understanding, or mostly a solid understanding, of post-secondary. Do they want to continue their academic career, or is career success more of their goals? And so we just wanted to make sure that it was student-based, hands-on, and kids had the opportunity to explore many options. I'm going to turn it over to Ashley.
Hi, everybody. Like Dr. Ontivero said, thank you for the introduction. I am the principal at Elm Middle School. And so I'm here to talk to you today a little bit about what our College and Career Pathways program is. What do we do with it? And so at Elm Middle School and Elmwood Park High School, we are in the second year of our College and Career Pathways program. We actually turned over our schedule, our calendar. We are on trimesters, and we are on the 7-period day from the block schedule to provide more opportunities for these courses for our students in their day while they're here with us. And so how it all started, our previous superintendent had a plan and had a dream to provide more opportunities for our students outside of their regular coursework, to provide them with opportunities in the college and career setting. Like I said, it began last year, and we are in the second year of our pilot. We are so fortunate at the middle school level, we were able to hire a college and career counselor. And so we have a counselor on staff that is able to guide our students through their course selection process, through all of their decision-making when we give out our career interest surveys, and she guides all of our students through that process. And additionally, in a little bit later, I'm going to be discussing some of the other things that she's doing to enhance our programming. But it really is starting 6th grade to give our students opportunities to dip their toes in the waters in courses, very low stakes, pass-fail classes. And they are trimester courses, but they all lead to a full semester or year-long opportunity at the high school for them to earn high school credit. And then once they get older in their high school years, they're able to then reach out to our other partnerships with TCD and Triton to gain college credit. So really, really wonderful opportunities for our students to dip their toes in the waters in these opportunities.
So District 401's program, how do we set this up? So at the middle school, the students take an interest survey to gather the information about what program we're going to use. On the link where it says step 1, we did include the survey that we do use, which is Illinois Career Information System. Gives us a really good guide on what is peaking for kids. Actually, we found last year that hospitality was a huge one. There's some really favorite courses, which I'll talk about when I tell you about the course selections that kids continuously want to choose, which I think is amazing. Once we do that, then we look at the career, we look at that survey and say, okay, which classes can we offer students relating to the 16 career clusters, which we'll talk about a little later in the presentation, and then how our classes align with the middle schools. Students take part then in their course selection process. I think last night was Elm Middle Schools, and so we do it by grade level. Kids get to choose the courses that pique their interest. Currently, the middle school offers 7 elective classes for the students to choose from out of the 16 career clusters. And next year, we are so excited to be adding 2 additional ones. So students will have the opportunity to explore 9 before they leave the middle school. So here are the 16 career clusters, and then we devise courses based on student interests within these clusters. You can go to the next page. I can show you which ones we're offering at the middle school. So current offerings, and then I'll talk about the 2 new ones that we're going to add. Psychology, huge favorite. Kids love it. Keep wanting to do it. You'll see later on in our sneak peek video how they talk about it and how they learn about the brain and how it functions. Hospitality and tourism is another hot one the last 2 years. Business, Entrepreneurship, which was great. I walked into the classroom and I saw the teacher teaching, and it was like Shark Tank. And so they were presenting all of the things, how they work. They were getting questions from the audience. It was an amazing, just to see the engagement of kids, how they really had to think about their product, how they would sell it, how they would promote it. Sociology is another big one right now at the middle school. Game design is a huge one. I had the opportunity to go in there quite a few times, and some of the games that the kids are creating, it's like Mario Brothers on steroids. Just the ideas and the thought processes. But then even talking to the kids about how did you do that? What was the setup? Things like that. Just their engagement and how they thought about this product was amazing. Sociology is another one. Health and science and sports medicine is going to be our new one for next year. Architect and engineering is another new one that we're going to be adding, and then creative writing. So as you can see, we try to do a balance, but really it's all based on that career interest survey that the kids take. We want to try to get and target classes that we think kids would be engaged in.
All right. So like I said before, this is really about exposure and providing these opportunities for our students. And so they are one trimester classes. So 12 weeks long, they're pass fail. So it's very low stakes. Kids are able to take risks in these classes, and they're able to really explore their learning. And they take the driver's seat in these classes. Like Dr. O said, we've got kids creating games. We've got kids making business plans. And they're able to step outside the boundaries and able to, the sky's the limit. And that's what we tell them. And we also tell our teaching staff that, because we like to give our staff time. They are teamed. So each grade level has one teacher teaching this course. And so they are able to collaborate. We have my assistant principal is on this call, and we've been able to create time for them to meet in the mornings to work on their curriculum, to make sure they're enhancing that always, so that students are at the forefront and that they are making the best instructional practices for our students in these programs and in these courses. Like I said before, it's providing variety, and it's giving the students long-term benefits. Like I said, our college and career counselor, we are actually going to be partnering with our local community organizations. She's going to be walking our 8th grade students about through the process of getting a work permit, and then providing them with links to our community that will hire our middle school students over the summer, or maybe a long break, for them to be able to get a job maybe and contribute to their community and earn some extra cash. Additionally, this year, we were given the Des Plaines Valley Region Grant, and we were able to use some of those monies to bring in virtual job shadow. And so our students are partaking in that experience as well. And we've worked very closely with Joseph, our rep, and he's been able to provide some training to our teachers, and our teachers are then able to deliver that curriculum to our students. Also this year, we added a college and career committee, which again, my assistant principal, Dr. O, and I sit on with our staff members, and we are using the grant money there to provide hands-on experiences for our students in these classes. And so we've already had some nurses from like the psychology field come in and speak to our students. We are working with a local author and alumni of our district to come in and work with our creative writing. She's going to be doing some workshops with our creative writing classes. And then for our hospitality and tourism and business classes, entrepreneurship classes, we're partnering with some local restaurants. And our students are actually going to be running a full service at one of our restaurants here in town, which is really awesome. And then we were at a conference this week, and I've reached out to Starbucks as well, because Starbucks has got some really great partnerships that they'll be working with us too. And then this committee is brand new, so we will be providing more hands-on experiences for our students, for them to be able to not only experience these things in the class, but actually get in, dive in, and see what it's like to work. Additionally, we have some people coming in from Amazon Logistics to talk to our students about the business world. So we have some other people coming in from different companies and things like that to come in to speak to our students and provide them with those real hands-on experiences, which we are very, very excited for.
So transition to the high school. So once the kids are in the high school, like Ms. Grenoble was talking about, they can engage in the 16 pathways. It's either semester long or year-long classes. Kind of gives the kids an idea after they leave our middle school, like, what is my peak interest? What would I like to continue to explore at the high school? The setup is pretty much the same at the high school as we do at the middle school. We do like to make sure that there's similar pathways and transitioning, so kids don't feel like this is something brand new. So they do take the same career interest survey, kind of gauge what our kids are interested in. They just recently did that. Course selection for the high school just started last week. And so that presentation goes out. We have an entire catalog of what we're offering students, so parents are aware of that as well as kids continue to do that. We just want to make sure that kids, when they leave Elmwood Park, are solidly prepared for what they want to do in the future. I mean, as we were doing this presentation, I was thinking to myself, goodness, I wish I had this in high school, right? How many people do you know that have tried some things and were like, yeah, I just don't love that. I just don't have the passion for that. Or, you know, I tried college, but that just didn't work out. So we're trying to make sure that when our kids leave Elmwood Park, they have a solid plan for a successful future, whether that is continuing to go to a 2-year or 4-year university, or whether that is going right into a career. We want to make sure that they have enough of those skills, soft skills and hard skills, to be able to be successful. One of the things we are doing is trying to boost our pathway. And so we created a video that we thought would be great. We're going to post it on our website, share out with everybody to say, here are some of the successes we are having at the middle school. So if you would click that video, we'd like to share kind of a sneak peek on what we're doing at the middle school.
Give me one moment just to make sure my sound is all shared.
Thank you.
A fun adventure with Zoom to make sure that's happening. I'll start it. Let me know if you can hear it.
I'm Sam Barbaro, and I'm talking about my experience in the entrepreneurship CSI. First, it was a great experience, and I learned how to be an entrepreneur, and it was awesome. Not only that, but I also learned about what it takes to become one. I thank my principals for the opportunity, Ms. G, Ms. Spiewak, and Mr. Goodman, and I can't wait for more CSIs to come.
Hi, my name is Jairus, and the CSI course that I took was psychology. It was a pretty fun experience. We learned a lot about how your mind works and about abstract ideas about consciousness. The favorite thing that we did for me was forensic psychology. We learned about how psychology shows up in your day-to-day life, and I really enjoyed the experience. We did experiments on ourselves that helped us learn what was actually going on.
My name is Lisa Bergery, and I teach 8th grade psychology at Elm Middle School. This is my 2nd year teaching psychology, and I really feel that the students are benefiting greatly. It has opened up, not only have they learned more about their own ways of thinking and learned about their brain and how it works, but they are also applying these skills to their everyday life and their relationships with their peers, their family, and the community.
Hi, my name is Isabella Weiss, and I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite CSI classes, game design. This is one of my favorite CSI classes because it involves a lot of creativity and we had to problem solve a lot. I also really enjoyed this class because our teacher was very supportive and helped us and encouraged us to problem solve by ourselves.
Hi, my name is Tracy Reppin, and I teach sociology for the Career Study program here at Elm. Students, for their end of the year project or end of the trimester project, get to research different types of careers in sociology. It's amazing how you can relate sociology to being a lawyer, to being a banker, to being anything in the world.
Hi, my name is Beanie, and I'm talking to you about my current CSI class. I'm taking psychology, which is a very interesting class because we're learning about the human mind and human behaviors. We're learning about the different fields in psychology, and on Friday we watch a show that's all about the adolescent mind and why we make the decisions that we do.
Hi, my name is Fatima Safdari, and in my last CSI class, Hospitality and Tourism, I learned about how to manage a hotel, and it was a really fun experience. I just want to thank my administrators for this really amazing opportunity.
Hi, I'm Ashley Groneveld, and I am the principal at Elm Middle School. We are so excited to be able to have this College and Career Pathways program here at Elm for our students to provide them with additional opportunities outside of their regular coursework. We hope you enjoyed watching this video, and we can't wait to see where this program goes in the future.
So that's just a little snippet of what goes on every day at Elm Middle School. We here at Elmwood Park believe that every child will be successful no matter which path they choose. We just want to make sure that they have the right tools to make that decision. I want to thank you for participating and listening today, and we really appreciate the opportunity to present. All of our contact emails are there. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out at any time. But at this time, unless you have any questions.
We can definitely spend a few moments here, and thank you all again for coming on today. I love the student who was like abstract ideas of consciousness. I was like, man, that's pretty good for like, I don't know what that means right now, right? Like, that was awesome.
I told you psychology was popular.
Yep. Any questions here for our presenters?
Hi, my name is Kelly Kenny. I actually do have a question. You mentioned work permits for middle schoolers. Can you talk a little bit about how that works and like what kinds of places are hiring kids in middle school? Because in our community, I have a hard time finding places that are willing to work with freshmen. So
Yeah, so we're actually I'm working with my school counselor right now, and the Park District hires the middle school students. And the only reason I knew that is because summer camp was held here this summer. And I called Dr. O and I said, I think that we could get them jobs at summer camp. And so our counselor is working very closely with our Parks and Rec district to kind of get some opportunities for our students to be able to have some summer work. We were very lucky there.
There are also some small businesses in a couple communities that do offer that to kids who have a work permit. It's only 1 day a week and things like that. And it's just to make that relational thing. So we're seeking out additional ones too, but the Park District is going to be one of the biggest bangs for our buck.
Talk about a learning experience, having a large crew of small children you have to manage.
Yes, and they have a lot of fun at the summer camp.
I was curious, when you guys first started this, I know talking to middle school level a lot is about scheduling and trying to fit it in. So what shifts did you guys have to make this work as far as scheduling and getting students hitting their core classes, but also having those opportunities?
Yeah. Dr. O, is it okay if I take that one?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So prior to us starting this program, we were on a block schedule. And so we did make a shift to a 7-period day. So our students throughout the day, they go to their 4 core classes. And then in the middle of the day when we have lunch, there's 30 minutes for each of these sections. And so they go to a career study course, they go to an advisory course, and then they have lunch. So we built that into our day. And then additionally, they have 2 periods of electives a day.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then the teachers you have teaching like business, game design, so they're doing that all day, or there's kind of teachers that are also teach other things, and this is an interest they have, so they're teaching that with your students.
Yes, correct. So usually in December, I actually just sent it out the other day. We send out a survey to our teachers to see if they would like to continue to teach the same career study course or if they would like to switch. And so from that survey, we then go through staffing, and then we plan the teachers that will teach the courses. But yes, it's just our teachers that we have PE teachers that teach business. We have tech teachers that teach creative writing. We have, all sorts of teachers that teach all different things around our building. But yeah, it's additional teachers that, will teach social studies all day, but then we'll teach sociology during their career study time.
And one of the benefits was that we tried to build it in the time. We said, if these teachers are doing this, they're already planning for all of their core classes, how do we make sure that we can provide some ample time before summer work, things like that? So we have tried to build into the morning periods, them time to write curriculum, devise it, create these opportunities. But we also have money too to do some summer work so they can revise, refine, create more projects. So kind of really helped. I think that people this year felt a little bit more prepared because we built in those morning opportunities for them to kind of gather that information.
Additionally, because we do start course selection so early, we are able to give our teachers their teaching assignments for career study in the spring so they can spend the 3rd trimester planning with their teams for the following year. So the students will get to take in the course of their 3 years at Elm, they will take every single one.
9.
Yep, nine courses over 3 years.
9 courses over 3 years, yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't realize they took all 9, right? But because I think, I used to manage an internship program and students would be like, well, I want to be X, right? And like their internship wouldn't necessarily be in X. And then they'd be like, oh, actually, I like this now. And I think it's like you get this idea, but unless you actually have to be exposed to all the different things, right? It's hard to grapple with, And
I think it will just help for them to get a taste of a little bit of everything and then decide which way is it that I want to go when I get to the high school too. So I think it's, yep. And they're going to be more successful in some things than others. They're going to be like, oh, I did not like that one at all. But there's going to be some that they're just going to love. So we're hoping that will create that pathway when they get to the high school.
Which is really great that these courses are pass fail. So it's, like I said, low stakes. So the kids don't feel pressure to do very well if they don't love it. It's totally okay. And this is just an opportunity for you. It doesn't affect GPA or anything like that.
Yeah, finding out what you don't like is just as important as finding out what you like, right? Before you make a big commitment and now you're doing what you don't like for the next 40 years of your life, or having to pivot at some point. Well, thank you all so much again. Really appreciate you sharing and your model. And I know I'll definitely have any reaching out to you all to make sure we capture this and kind of a robust template beyond the recording and presentation and all that here. But unless there's any other questions, we could have time for one more question. All right. Well, otherwise, I'm going to move to our other presenter here, Danielle. So we don't necessarily have a presentation, but they are going to share kind of about their plan and their thinking. As you all know, everybody's at different moments in their plan. So just want to make sure we're bringing folks on here and talking through that and sharing what we're up to. So I'll leave it to you, Danielle.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Danielle Grebe. I'm from the Lake County Area Vocational Systems Station at a Lake County Tech Campus, which is the career center here in Lake County. And we haven't actually we've begun our process. We haven't started doing any work with the students yet. That's to come. It's coming up next semester. So here's our little background. We're doing a paid internship program. And the background is that our lead auto instructor was working with his, I'll call her our lead business advisory member, who is also working with a lot of the small business auto shop owners in the region. And they really do want to get more students, particularly from our program, because we have a pretty robust program here at the Tech Campus, out into their shops to get that real world experience. But there were some issues with not a lot of interest in doing the unpaid internships. And it really is an economic issue. A lot of our students that run through the auto program are in need of jobs, or they have a job, and so they can take a little bit of time out of their school day. We would take them a little bit out of their 2-hour block here at the Tech Campus to do an internship, but we could never get anywhere close to 60 hours of an internship because of dual credit issues, students needing to be in class to get that coursework done as well. And so as much as we wanted there to be some time outside of their 2-hour block, that wasn't going to happen unless we could find a way to do a paid internship. And as the auto instructor was talking to me about the group that he's working with of these business owners, this grant became available, and we found out that we could utilize it as assistance for a paid internship program to help out those students who couldn't utilize time outside of class to be able to really hone in on this career path that they want to do. This is what they want to do if they're interested in doing the internship. So it's going right now, it's going to start next semester. It's going to be for mostly our second year students, but we also have students in our first year who have, they came in with prior knowledge in the auto service industry for varying reasons. And so they've been excelling and are really ready to get out into some businesses and learn the craft. The business partners, they really want to get people in, but they had there were some issues that happened, which is why we haven't started getting our students into the shops yet. So one of the issues that occurred was that our business partners who work with WIOA and our post-secondary auto students, the way that they do their paid internships is WIOA basically hires them and pays them and incurs the cost of their workman comp insurance and liability. We can't do that. We can't hire them through the tech campus. They have to be taken on kind of as an employee of the business site, and then we'll reimburse them the cost, and we'll reimburse them the pay, the insurance. That will all happen, but they were a little hesitant with that. They did have a big meeting last night. It sounds like things are going to be a go, so I'm hoping that's good. The other thing that the business owners were asking for in order to get our students out to their site was for the students to be provided the tools that they need to be working on the vehicles. A lot of the employees at a lot of these smaller shops, everybody's responsible for purchasing their own tools. And so they're very, they don't want to give them out to other students to use. They're worried they're not going to come back. And so we worked through a system to make sure that we, the tech campus, could purchase sets of instruments that they could take out, that they would leave at those work sites, that is specifically for tech campus students doing internships at that site. So we feel like we've kind of worked through that one. The small businesses, they can't afford to pay the students, which is why this grant kind of came at a unique opportunity. The group of business owners in the county that work with our program and our advisory panel, they have been looking for grants for other things as well. So they're also looking for grants that'll help them improve some of the equipment in their shops. Turns out the tech campus has much better equipment for working on vehicles than some of our small business owners. So that was kind of an interesting thing we learned in this process. So the students are going to start second semester, and the way that this is going to work is the first 10 hours of internship is not going to be paid. It's nothing through the grant for the first 10 hours. The purpose of that is to give us the opportunity to match students with the right business partners. Different shops do things differently. And so it would not be unusual for someone to form a really good relationship at one of our partners, but not at another. So that gives us a little flexibility before students take on those extra hours that would be outside of school time in order to get paid. Looking at my notes here, I'm trying to see if there's anything that I missed. So our business partners really are on board of helping students master all the skills that they need in order to be successful, whether they're at a small shop or at a dealership or at a larger facility dealing with anything in the auto service industry. So we're very excited to see how this goes. And what I kind of hope is that later in the school year, I'll be able to come back and let you know actually how things are going with our program, the amount of students, the amount of shops. We were thinking it was going to be about 5 to 10 shops wanting to work with us. We had a meeting last night with 25 different business owners. So that was kind of exciting. So we'll see how that goes. And I hope to give you an update in the spring. But if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
Thank you, Danielle. And yes, definitely we have some time for questions, and we will, to your update point, well, April is kind of a planned showcase, right? So as you all continue to grapple with your plans and implement them, April is going to be the time to be like, all right, so how it's going, how it went, right? How it might be continuing to go. But it looked like Kelly, you had a question.
Yes, I do. And 25 employers, that's excellent. Congratulations on that. Yesterday, I was just talking to, so I work for the Belvedere School District, and we're doing something very similar as far as looking to provide internships for our high school seniors. And I was just speaking with an auto transmission shop yesterday. And one of the things I just heard you mention too was that you reimburse employers for liability insurance. Can you talk a little bit about what you think that's going to look like?
That whatever is when they ask for pay reimbursement, whatever costs they incur that they have to pay. I don't know. I don't actually know how that works. That's going to be done through our business office, but whatever monthly costs they incur for those particular students on the internship, they would just submit that reimbursement as well with the general pay that they are paying them.
Well, thank you. Do you have any idea what that cost might be, or what you plan for in the budget for that?
I do not know that. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, thank you. I appreciate that. Still helps as far as the employer putting that to you for reimbursement, similar to the hourly wage.
Kelly, if I may, someone mentioned a figure to me around $40 a month. I don't know if that's consistent across the state or industries, but if that's a ballpark, maybe that.
Student, Karen, is that like a $40 per student, I assume, or is that like a, okay.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Thank you.
Any other questions, or even questions you might have for the group, Danielle, as you're kind of thinking about kicking this off?
I don't have any questions. I'm just kind of excited to get it kicked off and really see where we take it.
Same. 25 is very exciting. It's like, but then you're like, okay, but then 25. Okay, hold on.
Danielle, could you also just share a little bit about what that process was to get those 25 employers, like what that reach out was to employers to gain their interest?
Sure. I'm going to call her our lead business advisory member of our auto business advisory members. We have a female shop owner, which is fantastic. I love having that representation, who has created a group within the county of business owners and looking at how they can work to get employers, how they can help with the process of training that future workforce. So it's really working with both us and the community college next door. And she's just a dynamic lady. I'm going to say it really probably is all her. Going out, reaching out, inviting these people to meetings and talking up the tech campus, our program, our teachers, and our students. And so that I'm not the one who did the reach out, and neither is my instructor. It is our advisory member who did it, and her group, and just her dynamicness, I think, helped bring that many people in. But that, like I said, they weren't expecting it. So it was kind of interesting to hear this morning that they had way more interest in working with our students than they thought was going to show up to this meeting last evening. So I'd say having a really good advisory member who has really good connections within the communities is a bonus.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that relationship piece is so key, and that ability to be, in a sense, a salesperson, right? But with kind of a student-centered lens. It's got this, like, there's a very skill to that, and a talent and a dynamicness for sure. I would agree on that. Yeah, if you'll have advisory groups, I think sometimes, you know, folks are always trying to think through, like, what do I do with this advisory group, right? And folks want to be a part of stuff, but they also need roles, right? They need roles to play, things to do, ways that they feel they're providing value. So I know there's definitely been different communities within this pilot thinking through those advisory groups and kind of rethinking how they're engaging them, what they're doing with them, what their ask is of them. So this is a great example of them being able to play that pivotal role of outreach. Well, thank you so much again, Danielle, for sharing. Yeah, the Rotary, I don't know, Michael, if you want to share any more about how you utilized that type of group.
Hi, Heather. I'm sorry. I was at another meeting, so I was listening to you guys on the phone. So great presentations. When I was down in Peoria, we utilized the Rotary. We used the business organizations. We used any form of business groups to reach out to employers. We found that most of the employers are actually willing to help students and educate students on careers. And actually most businesses that we worked with when I was down in Peoria actually were looking for future employees. So if they could find someone that was interested in their trade, they were really willing to step up and help.
Michael. Well, let me get my screen back up here again for a moment. What I'm going to do is maybe give us about kind of like 15 minutes to go into some breakout rooms, and it's going to be by pilot area. I'll show you here in just a moment kind of what those are, but these are just some suggested kind of talking points, right? But if there's insights today, if there's certain questions today brought up for you, and how you might be even thinking about incorporating some of the pieces that were shared today, and then just continue to talk about your plan, right? Provide insights to others, ask some probing questions if you have questions for others, right? It's really just a moment for us to get into some rooms where we're doing kind of similar type experiences and share with one another.
So Heather, I'll say one of the things kind of we've talked about was, kind of that value of exposing students to careers, whether it be at an earlier grade level or when they're in high school. Sometimes our students don't know what they don't know. And when we can expose them to different things and different careers and show that sometimes their interests, lead to a career pathway, and to figure out a way to explore that. And, getting part in a hands-on activity at the school is one thing, but going out and talking to an employer or, seeing things firsthand is a game changer. And you said it when I was listening on the phone call, when students find out what they don't like is sometimes more valuable than what they do like, because then they start crossing things off their list. So I think it's great. I think this discussion is great. And if we can continue to push that to lower grade level students and try to figure out how to put this in a primary school and how to build skills for students at an earlier grade level, that connect to industry and connect to the workforce, the students benefit in the end. So I'll just say that.
Thanks, Michael. Very much agreed. And, a big talking piece of work-based learning is the more that you can make it just part of a student's experience rather than an extracurricular activity, something additional that they do if they have time for. But I think we all in this room know, right? Like students actually engaging in that as early as possible and continuously. And it's just what they do helps inform them so much and gives them access to information. It helps them problematize their own selves, right? Get connected to industry folks who have more kind of like real-time information than we do, right? And our counselors can never have, like, we can't know it all, right? And industry folks don't even know it all. But as much as we can continue to build that network, build, what we refer to as like social capital, how we're getting students access to that is huge for them, depending on, within their own network of family and friends, what kind of careers they're seeing or not seeing, how we can expose the breadth of that through these experiences continuously and make it embedded it can be a real game changer for students and can change the whole direction of their path. So thank you all again for your time today. I'm going to just put up here really quickly some next steps, and I'm also going to link in the chat here a feedback form. And so would love again for you all to, just submit that form, give some insights back on the community of practice for today. How it went, what insights you got. There's also some questions in there about kind of the current status of your plan. So, as much detail or information, or if you have any current like resources that you want to share in there to upload and put on that resource hub site so that other communities can learn from you, please just share that in that document. There's also a space on there, I think, as you continue to come to these communities of practice and get these resources. If there's other folks on your team who you think should be included and part of these conversations, there's a space there for you to include them, and they'll get on the full listserv here to get communications about these events. But we really have coming up, our next community of practice is going to be in February. I've got, again, mine and Karen's information there, but we'll have, presenters who come on again, time for breakout rooms similar to today. And then really the final one will be in April. And that's where we'll be starting to prep, and we'll have, more than just 2 presentations. I would love to have maybe 10 to 15, we'll kind of see, but they'd be very mini, just share outs about showcasing, what they did this year, what they learned, sharing some of their resources they developed, especially there's questions about like, okay, like Danielle, what ended up with that liability cost, that process, like how did that all work out, right? Would love to know all those different pieces and those updates there. And I know as I've reached out to other communities to present, they're like, we're not quite ready, but we'll be ready here. So I think there's going to be a lot of really great content for that showcase in April, but we'll have more presentations in February too. So yeah, that's kind of the moment for the day. If you want to take some time and fill out that Google form before you head out, we've got some extra minutes here and you've got the hold on your calendar. Would appreciate your feedback and insights. Really do try. I mean, these community conversations came out as a result of some requests from that form, those ones where it's really just meeting and not having presentation. So please do let me know what would be helpful for you all. The goal is to help you kind of sort through and talk through and figure out your pilot plan and feel confident in that.